whatever you need.
Oh, my candle. Hold
Yeah,
on.
yes, get your candle, get
I
your
gotta
candle.
get my
You know,
candle.
even though it's summer still, I still have to have my teacup and like, the things that make us feel cozy. So I'm gonna mute you all, but you can please feel free to unmute if you need to. And we'll start sitting, but in no rush at all. When you get there, we'll start sitting and you can bring your hands onto your body when you get there. And if it feels comfortable to put one on your heart, one on your belly, that's a suggestion. Otherwise, you can let them rest on your thighs, and that's just as wonderful. Just allowing for a soft, full body breath here. As you breathe, could you imagine that every single cell is breathing with you? Not just breathing, but really expanding with the breath and softening back into its center with the breath, every cell. It's like as if you could imagine like every cell in your body is a little lump. What if every cell was a tiny little lung and every single lung is expanding as you breathe? Millions of them. And as you breathe out, and you ride the coattails of that out breath all the way out to the little pause at the end. And you don't have to hold it unless you feel really inspired to, but just to take note of that little space after the exhale before the next in-breath begins. Talking to a friend today about breathing in yoga and the sort of misconception that we're supposed to breathe really deeply all the time. And we're you go into lots of yoga studios and there's always those few people that are like, but in reality, especially in yin, you don't need to do that. And what my friend said, which I thought was really lovely, was just, think about like when you're sleeping, right? You're not doing big, giant, rhythmic, deep breaths. And sometimes they're shallow and gentle. And so just a reminder that in yin, we don't need to force any big, deep inhales unless you feel inspired to. But letting the natural hum of your breath just be what it is in any given moment without needing to manipulate it too much. So we're going to begin standing today for the dangle. We'll take a dangle and a squat, a good classic yin combo. And so take your time. And, we talk a lot about moving through the transition with awareness, that you're not just like suddenly leaving your body, mind, heart, but you're taking the whole package with you as you come up to stand. And if you want to have props nearby, you might have some blocks or a chair to put your hand on or anything at all. And it's really up to you. I notice some people like to just fold forward and go right into the forward fold and hang out there. Other people like to start from the top and go really slow, and little by little, maybe take a minute or so to get into the full forward fold. So it is entirely up to you. And to continue as you fold to practice this awareness of this little space at the bottom of your out breath, this little magical portal between the out breath and the next inhale. A portal into quiet and spaciousness. And our muscles are very smart. Our body's brilliant. And our muscles work continuously to protect us. And they also need to learn how to let go. So doing a little walkthrough of your body as if you're going through a house room by room and dimming the lights. Go head, dim the lights, turn the volume down on the muscles, neck and shoulders. Dimming or turning off the lights on the arms, wrists, hands, fingers. Chest and belly. And then the legs, of course, are holding you up, so they've got to protect a little bit here, but just looking for any unnecessary tension. Got another couple of breaths that you can follow out to the end, all the way to that little holy moment at the bottom where everything sort of stops. Linger in that in between space if you like. And then when you feel ready, so if you want to linger in the forward fold a bit longer, please do. When you feel ready, if you feel ready, we'll come into a squat, which looks like all kinds of different things for different people. You can even sit on a chair. You can have it be not quite so deep and lean on your thighs with your elbows, or put some blocks or support in front of you, or you can bring yourself very low to the ground. Maybe bring your hands in a prayer and drop your forehead onto your thumbs if that feels nice to you. Lots of options. Yeah, sometimes I like that. Sometimes I like to walk my hands out and get really round in the back and drop the head. Other times I like a prayer at the heart to keep some lift in the upper body. So you can play. I love what a teacher of mine, Theo Wildcroft, she said one time, I'll never forget, she said, inviting the suggestion of stillness, but not the mandate. And sometimes just a little shift of the limbs can create a whole different sensation. You're always welcome to play a little bit or a lot. Exhale, you can imagine tension in your face draining away. The out breath taking away any gripping in the jaw, holding around the eyes and forehead. Tension in the cheeks, teeth. Exhale. Fall. The thought that we'd go from here onto all fours and have a little reset moment there. But if your body's feeling like it's craving something different, that's totally fine. But if it feels good to follow me, you can come onto your hands and knees and give your spine a little dance around inside your torso here, moving anything that wants to move, resting when you need rest. Feeling into what's going on for you today. Gonna head towards a back bend. There's no rush to get there, but taking a puppy pose. And for that, if you want it together, some pillow, bolster, blankets, anything in front of you to rest either your head on. You could also put a block or two under your head. So the arms are stretched out long. Your hips are generally somewhat over your knees. And then there's this great big hanging through the heart, dangling the heart. So, and as always, take as long as you need to get there, playing a bit to find the shape that fits you just right. Letting every cell breathe again. Even if it's a shallow, soft, or quiet breath, every cell like a little lung expanding and softening on the exhale. And resisting the urge to practice out of habit is something I have to remind myself a lot. So if you want to, you can always play with the target area of each shape or try something slightly new or different. And you let your elbows get a little heavier. Feel your organs sinking earthbound. Always watching for moments of boredom, for moments of frustration, moments of impatience, because this is the practice, right? To let them arise and to let them dissipate. This is the practice. Coming out of this one, see how you feel, whether you feel like some more movement, some cat-cow, whether you feel like a child's pose, or even just to sit and take it all in. Yeah, down the dog could be nice. Open up the knees. You got time. For our next pose, no need to rush there, but I'll just let you know where we're going and you can get there when you're ready. Come on to the back for banana on each side. So I think you're all pretty familiar with banana. Long arms overhead, long legs below. And then either side, we're going to do both of them, one right after the other. So you can slide one leg over on the ground, doesn't have to go too far. Press the other ankle on top or even underneath or next to it. Doesn't have to be crossed on top. You could play with that. And then scooting your upper body over in that same curve direction. And we play often with different arm variations. You could hold opposite arms, opposite elbows, forearms, or wrists. You could clasp your hands around the base of your skull and have your elbows out wide. Or you can reach overhead. Maybe you're holding on to that long side of the body, to that side wrist with the other hand. And not so much tugging, but even just holding it with that other hand is going to give a little bit of extra tension to that side of the body, the good kind of tension, the pulling, stretching kind. And then empty the breath right out of your skin. Let it fall out. Let your body move in the direction of the ground. Let your organs sink towards the earth. Let your heart fall deeper into your chest. Imagine it's really softly falling and snuggling towards the back of your chest. All the water of your low belly and pelvis seeping down into the earth, falling. This is from Jillian Pransky, wonderful restorative teacher. She says, we're learning to allow the ground to carry us. We're learning to allow our body to be on the earth. You don't have to hold everything up. Let the earth hold you. Do another check-in. You like that idea of walking through the body like rooms of a house. You could start at your crown and go downward through the body, dimming the lights in each room, turning the muscles off in each part of your body. looking for those moments where we check out. We're anxious for the next moment, where we're bored, we're uncomfortable, and just letting them do their thing. The body really, Jack Kornfield says this. He said, the body's a river. It's a river of sensation. Our mind is a river of thoughts and feelings. So if you just stay quietly and patiently, it changes. And come on back through center. Maybe it's stillness that you want. Maybe it's a hug of your knees in, or maybe it's something else. I like a bridge sometimes after that. Circle of the knees. Letting things neutralize, letting the sensation of that shape fade until it gets very quiet, and then take the other side. One of the things I taught at a yoga festival this weekend, and one of the classes, we got really into this idea of the myth of normal, the myth of a normal body, and the myth of a symmetrical body, and how, if you've had this experience in yoga classes, I was always taught to look at bodies and notice, like, oh, this shoulder is lower than the other, or this foot wants to turn out, and we need to fix that. Let's get you all, everything symmetrical. But the reality is, there's nothing symmetrical about our bodies, really, truly. There's not even one single straight line in our skeleton. And so if it's not the same on this side, that's totally okay. As you settle in here, sweep your body with your breath. Sweep it for tension, sweep it for sharpness. Sweep away all the gripping and the clenching. find yourself here, moving deeper towards your center, deeper towards your core, as if you're slowly being absorbed into yourself. Or here, you can undo the curve and start to carefully draw your body back into a neutral position. And then moving or resting as you wish. Linger there with any residue of sensation, any lingering humming, the energetic field lines of your body. Or you can begin to come into a happy baby, which will be our next shape. A happy baby, feet in the air, and see how you feel here. If you can reach for your feet, go for it. If not, you can very happily reach around behind your thighs. Just as wonderful. You can always use props here too. You can wrap a strap or socks even around your feet to hold on to something. Any amount of wobbling around, rocking to coax all of the fibers, that whole living matrix of fiber and tissue in our body, to coax it into smoothness. And at some point, settling into the suggestion of stillness. How's your neck in this one? Chin. Sometimes I notice that I lift my chin and I need to do a little tuck of the chin down to give the neck some breathing room. Sometimes I notice my hands, even though they have to do work here, they do too much work. And so letting the hands be there. Nice easy paperweights holding up the feet. Letting your front ribs empty towards the back body. Your organs sink towards the earth again. So I love the Hidden Brain podcast or show on NPR. And last week and the week before, they did a series on dopamine and pleasure and, just what it does to our brains when we relentlessly seek pleasure at all costs. And the woman they were interviewing is a psychiatrist, I think she is, Anna Lemke. She was saying that actually it's not very popular opinion, but what we should do for our brain chemistry to make it optimal is seek out really uncomfortable, painful experiences, awkward, challenging experiences. And the more we do that, actually, I mean, not just like torturing ourselves just to torture ourselves, obviously, but like what you're doing right now, to be here, maybe to be bored, or maybe to be a little uncomfortable, or maybe to be impatient. This is actually resetting your dopamine system in your brain. And the way she describes it, she says, it's imagine you got a seesaw in your brain and you push down on the pleasure side. And then a whole bunch of little gremlins are going to come in and push down on the pain side to try to bring you back to homeostasis. And so it works the opposite way, that if we push down on discomfort, then actually all those little gremlins, they push down on the pleasure side. And it teaches our brain how to naturally find more pleasure. Isn't that amazing? You can come on out. I know that was a long time and a happy baby. Take what you need here, resting or moving. We're going to twist next, so it might feel good just to go right there. But whenever you're ready, you can twist to any side. It doesn't matter. And I think you're all pretty familiar with the simple twist. We call it twisted roots sometimes in yin yoga, which is the supine twist. And the back of your heart is melting towards the floor, and the legs are going one direction. The spine twirls the other way. You might wobble your head around like a little piece of seaweed in the ocean until it finds just the right spot to land. Empty your shoulders, empty the back of your heart, empty any tension in the feet, calves, thighs, hips, belly. And let your body spread out like a beautiful quilt on the ground. Noticing the soft hum of your breath here. But you don't have to fix it or deepen it or change it, but just to notice it. And if it feels good, to follow the exhale out to that little empty pause. Use that as a way to stay present. And come on back now. As you come through center, pausing, feel, to absorb, to not miss it. Imagining all the energy pathways in your body, the big ones, the tiny ones, miles and miles of pathways, fluids moving, energy moving, unobstructed and free. Energy pouring into every organ. This other side, when you're ready, you can go there as you feel ready for it. So you lay yourself here out to rest. Imagine emptying the entire blueprint of your body into the earth beneath the earth. Let your weight travel into your hands. Let your weight travel into the back of your heart and rib baskets. Weight travel into your legs, those long, heavy creatures of your legs sinking into the earth. Notice where your mind might go. And just noticing if there is a thought that grabs you, a story your mind wants to tell. Notice if it creates any sensation in your body, any tension or gripping. And just letting yourself be like that river again, a river of sensation, constantly moving, a river of thought and feeling, a river of experience. Come on back. You can let the waters of your river start to move and sway and ripple onto your back once again. And I thought we'd finish with a forward bend today. And you've got options if you like. It's not one that everyone loves or that everybody wants to do. Is a snail, which is like a plow, right? And so I like to sometimes have a cushion, pillow, bolster underneath me, and you could even do like that, like an upside down forward bend, where you're just kind of letting gravity have you, and you can put as much cushion underneath you as you like, or if you want to, you can almost go in the direction of a plow and rock your shoulders underneath you if that feels good, and then finding the ease. I do that. I'll rock my shoulders underneath and then release the clasp of the hands, let the knees soften, let the whole body get softer and heavier. And if that doesn't seem to work for you, don't worry at all. You can very slowly and heavily, staying close to the ground as possible, come on up into the seated version, which is a caterpillar. I love a cushion under the knees for this one. So it's the long leg, forward bend, rounded spine, heavy head, soft joints. And you're always free to change your mind. I hope you know that if you did choose the snail and you want to switch to the caterpillar or vice versa, you are very welcome to. No need to struggle or strive for anything here. Just letting it unfold and come to a place that feels organic enough that gives you sensation. Feel free, as always, to play. Sometimes a subtle resettling of the limbs can have a really powerful effect on the movement of energy through the shape. So if you need to make micro changes to make more space, please do. Calling upon softness wherever you are, calling upon a little more softness. Move from here into resting. So feel free to stay a bit more if this is very interesting. If you're still in the snail or the caterpillar and you want to do some little tiny shifts just to change the target area, change the sensation a bit, you could do that little by little until you eventually come out. And then whatever rinsing off wants to happen after that, and we'll move into Shavasana. Laying yourself out to rest, giving your skeleton to the earth. Skeleton with all of its soft curves and rounded edges. Right? Nothing sharp, nothing square, straight, or rigid, just a soft pile of curves and streams and waters. The rivers of your legs stream out of your hips. Let your arms empty from your shoulder sockets to your fingertips, feeling them soften from the inner arm to the outer arm. Allowing your rib basket to soften and sink, your heart to fall towards the back of your chest, all of your organs sink towards the earth. And again, that all of your cells are breathing as you breathe in and out. Every cell is a tiny little lung expanding on the inhale and softening into itself on the out breath. By little, you can begin to move, wiggle, stretch, rock, hug your way back. Millions of cells, all those millions of tiny little lungs with you up to sit. No rush at all. luxuriously, heavily slow. In the deep south, those trees with the moss that hangs off their limbs, right? Be like the moss hanging off one of those Louisiana trees as you come up. Bring your hands to rest wherever they feel supportive, and chant this out with one arrow if you wanted to. Oh. You out to all of our hearts, all of our kittens and various animals.